What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course for another disc review. This one is really special. This is the Trash Panda Ozone. 100% recycled plastic. Starts off looking a little on the flippy side, but it's recycled plastic. So this could be the new future of disc golf. Starting right off the bat, they call it an 8-6 -3-1, and I have two other discs with me today for comparison purposes. We have my old Flippy Star Eagle. This one, it started off as a -3-1, but after like 15 years, it's no longer a -3-1. It's much more of like the -2, or sorry, -1-3. It started off much more as like a negative. It's now more of like a -2-1 or maybe even a -3-1. So we'll see how this one flies in comparison to the Ozone. And then we also have the Essence. This is 8-6 -2-1. So somewhat similar as far as rim depth and rim speed is concerned, but it should be a little bit on the more stable side, especially that this is much more of a premium plastic, but this one's beat in. I'm gonna toss them all off today and see how they fly compared to each other, and maybe give you a little incentive to go get the Ozone. Also, Trash Panda is doing something really, really cool because they're trying to keep from wasting plastics. So all of the little cuttings and stuff that they take off of this from the mold, they're going into, and they're either remaking more discs or they're making minis from, and they don't believe in stamps. All of these stamps, all of this, everything else from that is pretty much wasted. So Trash Panda's like, we're not into this. They're doing a ghost stamp. So on the bottom of all of their discs, they have this molding underneath, and it has a couple of different things. It's made from recycled TPU plastic. It says that, TPU or TPE. It has this little arrow. It shows the plastic flexibility, and then this arrow is the production date. So you can see a lot of different things about the specific disc that you buy just by flipping over and looking at the bottom of your disc. Then you flip it on the other side, and they're doing this cool little, they call it a ghost stamp. This one is the ghost stamp for Another Round Asheville. It's just a tiny little bit of a lip that you can feel, but they're just putting these things in there so that they don't have to stamp it, but it's still pretty obvious what is on the front of the disc. That being said, Another Round being my sponsor for the year, we're gonna toss off this Another Round one first, and then we're gonna toss these as kind of comparisons. Gonna start off with a little bit of a slower arm speed, not full rips right now, but we'll get there. We'll see what it's capable of. Ozone first. So I think what the Ozone is going to be like for a lot of beginner players or newer players, or even just people that have been playing for a long time that don't have that 70-mile-an-hour arm speed, that's gonna fly very similar to the way that the pros throw the Passion or the Crave or any of those other flip up to flat and just ride super straight discs. If you're a little bit of a slower arm speed, that Ozone is gonna be a pretty straight disc. Now let's go a little bit slower, but probably about the same amount of stability. We're going with the Eagle. Flip up to flat, ride, and then fade. Now, being that it is an Eagle, it still has an Eagle rim, so it's going to fade a touch harder. You can't do anything about that because it's just an Eagle rim. However, this one is much more similarly shaped to the Ozone. So the Essence, I think if you were to beat an Essence in, it's gonna fly very similar to an Ozone right off the shelf. So maybe you just go buy an Ozone right off the shelf and you're saving plastics. Yep. So the essence being that it is a -2.1, that one has not hit nearly enough trees to be quite as flippy as the Ozone right out of the box. So I think the Ozone is going to be an absolutely fantastic distance driver or controlled fairway driver for a lot of those beginner, newer players, slower arm speeds. So Trash Panda is doing amazing things. Their plastic glides for so long. The dune, their mid-range, the inner core, they all fly a lot further than you think based off of the shape, because something about the way their plastic is molded, it just glides a long way. Here on hole 13, we're going to be a little bit less aggressive on the hyzer angle because we want to get a little bit of a drift out of them. So try to throw them so that they flip up and they get a tiny bit of a pull to the right and then they fade off. Going with the eagle first. They move the basket. So probably not any ace runs, but if I throw one of these really, really well, it might park it. Beautiful flight, a little bit short of on the turn. Just turned into a tree late. Going Ozone next. I threw that much lower and it flipped about as much as I would have expected it to flip, being that it was thrown much more direct and low. Now we're gonna go with the essence and see if we can get the same amount of turn and drift. Nope. As far as we're concerned, probably just gonna go eagle and essence, or eagle and Ozone from now on, because that essence definitely is not the same stability. Maybe we'll throw it on 18. We'll see. Hole number 7. This is one of my favorite flippy fairway drives on the course. We're going eagle first off of the tee. This one is one that you kind of throw it on a touch of hyzer. It's gonna flip up and drift to the right, and hopefully it'll stay up onto that hillside on the right, because you don't want to fade too much. If you fade too much, you're in the lake. So eagle first. See if we can recreate it, but this being 1 speed faster and a little bit higher on the glide, we'll see what happens with this one. It might even go further. Oh, that's beautiful. So that one definitely has a lot more just initial flip, just because the eagle is a stable disc that I have beat in to be that flippy. That one has a lot more flip just out of the gate because it is a -3. But that being said, it's gonna be really nice for people that are just starting out or people that aren't throwing super far or super fast. Hey, let's go pick up an Ozone and let's go have some fun on the course, because it's not completely unusably flippy, and that flip and that extra dome on it's definitely going to give you a lot of glide. It'll give you a lot of controllable distance that honestly that'll probably go further than most people's distance drivers for them. So definitely check out Ozone if you haven't got a chance to. They're pretty new, so most people haven't had a chance to throw one yet. They fly pretty cool. We still have a couple holes to throw them on, so let's see how they finish out. But man, I'm gonna have to do a Trash Panda starter set around where I use all 3 of their discs, because now they have kind of a full set: fairway, mid-range, putter. Let's go have some more fun. Holes number 16, we're gonna do something fun here. We're gonna throw these on forehand, because I'm starting to learn how to flip some flippy fairways on a forehand, so this is gonna be fun. We're gonna go Ozone first. There is a bit of a head crosswind, so these are probably gonna flip a lot. I'm gonna put them on some hyzer to start. Hopefully they drift over towards the basket. I'm gonna start them to the right of the basket. Oh yeah, definitely an effect of the head crosswind, that it pushed that far over. But that's pretty amazing that even though it pushed that far over, it still had enough height. It wasn't gonna just burn over on you. It still is gonna try to fight out at the very end. That's really good to know. So same amount of hyzer on the Eagle, it's not going to turn over on you. That's because it is an overstable mold. So your flippy distance drivers or your flippy fairway drivers, you can start them on hyzer and they'll still roll for you, backhand, forehand. Your overstable discs that have beat into flat, if you don't hit them exactly perfect, they're not going to roll over on you. So they're not going to give you that push and turn that you're looking for necessarily. If you hit them right, it's definitely going to give you an amazing flight and possibly even better than the flippy disc. But if you're looking for a disc that's going to flip for you, try to get something a little on the flippier side because it'll help. For example, Ozone versus Eagle. Last two shots of the day, we have a head crosswind coming off of that side. So we're gonna go Eagle first, and then we're gonna go Ozone. These Ozones are flying really amazing, very similar to the way like a Sidewinder or a Roadrunner, a Heat, any of those like flippy 9 speeds are gonna fly for you, but you're supporting small business and you're cutting down on plastic waste and plastic production because this is 100% recycled plastic. So check out a Dune or an Ozone if you haven't got a chance. It flies amazing, it feels pretty good, and you can get some really cool ghost stamps on them without having all the extra actual stamp. So we're gonna throw Eagle off first. Any more height for the Ozone here? Well, that's all a result of the headwind. It flies amazing, it feels amazing, and if you're a little bit of a slower arm speed, I think that Trash Panda's plastic does kind of have a torque limiter. So if you apply too much torque, it's gonna fly much more understable than the numbers say. But if you throw it smooth, controlled, without a whole bunch of torque and wobble, it's gonna fly really nice, and it's gonna fly very similar to the flight numbers. So if you're looking for one of those understable flippy fairway control drivers, check out an Ozone. They have them right now at Another Round Asheville, especially with some cool ghost stamps on them. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy content like this. And if you want to see more content, check out the comment section down below. Make sure to comment any videos, ideas you might have. Make sure to subscribe for all the giveaways I'm going on all the time. And until next time, guys, see you out on the course.